Hello Odooers, I'm Hermine from the BOSS and IoT Expertise team. In this video, we'll explore the fundamentals of the IoT. We'll discover when to use it, the different types available, and walk you through the full configuration process. We will also delve into essential network principles and provide troubleshooting tips to ensure your setup runs smoothly. Think of the IoT box as a bridge that integrates hardware with Odoo when a native connection isn't possible. It is also an essential tool for automating report printing. Please note that the hardware compatibility depends on whether we have developed a specific integration for that device. For a comprehensive list of supported hardware and to see which devices require an IoT, please refer to our official documentation or our dedicated hardware video series. So can you work without an IoT? Consider an integrated payment terminal as an example. When linked with Odoo, the payment request and the exact total are sent automatically to the device. Once the transaction is processed, the POS automatically validates or declines the order based on the terminal's response. Without an IoT, or if an integration isn't supported, you would need to manually enter the amount on the terminal and manually validate the order in Odoo. Choosing between these setups often depends on your transaction volume, operational frequency, and specific business needs. We support two types of IoT, the physical and the virtual. The physical IoT runs Odoo code on a Raspberry Pi. This is a paid service at €25 per month per IoT and comes with built-in drivers and a printer server. Alternatively, the virtual IoT is a free version available exclusively for Windows. It leverages the drivers already installed on your PC to communicate with your devices. Before starting the configuration, ensure you have a valid IoT subscription. Please contact your account manager if this is not the case. Let's start by configuring your physical IoT. Make sure that you have installed the IoT app first. Then you need to download the latest IoT image from Odoo Nightly and flash it onto the IoT SSD card. Let's start by taking it off the IoT and downloading the IoT image. We'll flash it using a tool like Balena Etcher. Keep an SD card adapter handy if your computer requires one. So here we're on the Nightly platform, and you can see we have the latest IoT image here, the 2507, but you just can download here the latest one as well. Now let's open Balena Etcher and let's flash the IoT. So I'm going to search for my image, and now I'm going to add my adapter in my computer so I can flash the SD card of the IoT. I'm going to select my target, and let's go ahead and flash. Once the SD card is flashed, insert it back into the Raspberry Pi. Connect your Ethernet cable and power it on as well. During boot up, the IoT box will display its IP address. It could be displayed on a screen connected to the IoT with a micro HDMI cable to HDMI cable. If you don't have a screen, just ignore this step or plug a compatible receipt printer to the IoT instead. Then go on your Odoo database and open the IoT application and click on Connect. In the latest versions, Odoo will automatically scan your network for the IoT box. If it isn't detected, you can manually link it using the provided pairing code or token. To get the pairing code, you'll need to get the IoT IP address, either from the connected screen or printer or from your router setting. Enter the IP address in your web browser to access the IoT system homepage. If you don't have access, jump to the troubleshooting section. Make sure you're using a DNS provider like Google or Cloudflare. As you can see, the IoT box has been detected correctly. Just wait a few seconds and you'll be able to link it to your point of sale. So you just can click on Continue. So now your IoT box is paired to your point of sale. So the last thing I want to show you as well is how to configure the DNS. For that, you need to go on your browser settings. So let's go here on Settings, just search for DNS. Go to Security, and here just make sure to use Google Public DNS or Cloudflare. Thanks to the IP address, you can navigate on the IoT homepage just by entering the IP address in your browser. Now, if you cannot connect with the AutoConnect feature of the IoT, you can just use the pairing code that you can actually see here. Now, once you get that pairing code, just go back in the IoT app. Click on Connect and go here by using the pairing code. Just enter the code and connect the database this way. Finally, let's test the connection to ensure everything is synced. Remember, a stable network is essential as the IoT relies entirely on your local connectivity. Use the test button within the IoT app to evaluate your network speed. A successful test is indicated by green status markers. If you encounter red markers, it indicates a connectivity issue that requires troubleshooting. This tool provides an immediate diagnostic of your IoT box connection health. Now, a few things that are good to know. It's best to get all your devices plugged in before you start the IoT. While Wi-Fi works, plugging in via Ethernet will provide a much smoother and more stable experience. The LED indicators on the Raspberry Pi serve as a visual diagnostic tool to help you monitor the system status. No network is indicated by a blinking red LED. If Odoo service is not running, the IoT displays a solid red LED. When the IoT is not paired with a database, it displays a blinking green LED. And when the IoT is paired with a database, it displays a solid green LED. Let's start configuring the virtual IoT now. Navigate to the Odoo IoT download page and download the installer. So here I'm on the page. You might need to add your details here. And let's go at the bottom, and here you see the virtual IoT. Now that the file has been downloaded, you can just execute it. Just click on Yes here and execute the prompts. During the installation, ensure the destination folder is located directly under the C drive. This is very important. Just click on Install, and now it's time to grab a coffee. Now you get a pop-up to also install GhostScript. You can just follow the instruction as well. Once completed, the IoT homepage should automatically launch in your browser at localhost 8069. Good, so now the page has been loaded. As you can see, you can either pair the IoT to the database via the pairing code, or you can just click on Connect. Let's go back to our Windows. And let's go in our IoT app. And let's just click on Connect. In the latest version, Odoo will automatically scan your network to see if he recognizes any IoT services. If it isn't detected, you can just manually link it by using the pairing code as I explained. Let's wait a few seconds and see what is found. So here, as you can see, we can link our IoT, and you can even associate it to a certain shop. Let's go ahead and continue. So here you can see the virtual IoT has been added in our database as well. Now, if you cannot access the IoT system, your Windows firewalls may be blocking the connection. We strongly recommend completing this configuration by default. So follow the steps. Let's go ahead and go in our Windows Defender configuration. Here, if you're not on this page, you can click on Advanced. Here you can just go and create a new inbound rule. So let's create a new rule. Let's select port. Let's go next. Just keep TCP and just add the specific local ports. So we have port 8069, that's for Odoo. We have port 443 for HTTPS and port 80 for HTTP. Let's go ahead. Let's allow the connection. This is good like this. And let's give it a name, so if you need to find it back, you will be able to. And let's finish. The rule is just here. Let's dive into some basic principles of the IoT. For initial configuration, the IoT box, your other devices, and the Odoo database must be connected to the same local network. While the first statement has to be true, as from Odoo 18.3, thanks to WebSockets, it's possible to communicate with report printers, receipt printers, and the black box when outside of the local network. The IoT system automatically detects all devices that are either physically plugged on the IoT box or connected to the same local network. To ensure communication between your IoT system and its connected devices, a valid SSL certificate is mandatory. The SSL certificate is automatically generated once your Odoo database is linked to an active subscription that includes an IoT line. To ensure your sub is configured correctly for this process, please contact your Odoo account manager. You can confirm if the SSL certificate has been successfully validated by following these steps. Navigate to the IoT module and enter debug mode. Go to the technical info and check the URL extension of the domain address that you can see here. It should be followed by this extension, which means the certificate is active and valid. You should also see the secure connection indicator on the IoT box homepage. The IoT homepage provides a comprehensive overview of your system status. When properly configured, you can view the SSL certificate status, the IP and MAC address, the current software image version, the connected Odoo server, and a list of recognized devices. So let's go ahead and take a look. You can just click here on the homepage, and this is what you will get. By clicking here at the top, you can either hide or show options. And you can see we see the certificate here that is not valid as this is a test database, the MAC address, the version of the IoT image, the IP address, the database connected, and finally, all the devices that are recognized by the IoT system. Now let's discuss the basics of troubleshooting. First, let's look at your IoT subscription. Ensure you have a valid active Odoo subscription. You must have an IoT subscription line per IoT instance. Example, you're running 2 virtual IoTs, so you'll require 2 separate IoT lines in your subscription, or the quantity should be equal to 2. Then let's discuss the IoT configuration. You need to verify that the primary configuration was completed correctly. Please refer to the configuration section of the instructional video for a step-by-step walkthrough. Finally, checking the network environment is quite important. To ensure that the IoT can communicate with your devices, verify the following. Confirm that the IoT and all peripheral devices are on the same local network. Ensure you're using a standard internal network as well. Do not use guest networks as they block the IoT communication. Be aware that Wi-Fi extenders can create isolated subnetworks. Ensure both the IoT and the devices are operating on the same network segment. If multiple routers are in use, ensure only one manages the network. All secondary routers should be set to bridge mode. For optimal performance, use a reliable DNS provider such as Google Public DNS or Cloudflare. Check that your firewall settings are not obstructing the ports mentioned in the setup guide. To prevent unexpected connection drops, the IoT must have a static IP address and must be fixed on the router's setting. This step is essential if your setup includes IP-based receipt printers or payment terminals, as these devices require a fixed IP to stay connected to the IoT. You don't have access to the IoT homepage? Then check your network, DNS, and firewall configurations as stated before. If you have verified all of the above steps and the system remains inaccessible, the IoT itself may have a hardware fault. If your device was provided directly by Odoo, please contact your account manager for further assistance or a potential replacement. Verify the status of the device by selecting the Test button within the Odoo IoT application. If you're using a physical IoT, check the LED indicators on the Raspberry Pi. Refer to the configuration part for more info. Are the devices not showing? If your devices are not appearing, first verify that they are connected to the same network as the IoT system. If this step does not resolve the issue, try restarting the IoT system. You can do this by navigating to the IoT homepage and clicking the Restart button. For the physical IoT, if the issue persists, attempt to add the printer manually via the CUPS interface, which is accessible through the IoT homepage. For the virtual IoT, ensure the printer is correctly installed on the host computer and successfully prints a standard test page from the OS. Let's go ahead and see how you can restart the IoT. To manually restore the Windows IoT, you can simply search via the Windows Start menu for Services. Open them and just scroll down and search for Odoo. Here you can see the IoT service running, so you can just click right and here you have the Restart button. You can also see that the service is running. Now, for the physical IoT and the virtual IoT, what you can do is simply go on the IoT homepage. So click on the homepage, and once you are on the homepage, simply click on the power button here, which will restart the service. To uninstall the virtual IoT, just remember that you can only have one instance running per computer, so you might need to remove or replace the system. So to uninstall the program, go through the Windows settings, search for Programs, open them, and just search for Odoo. Here you can simply click on Uninstall and just follow the different instructions. And that's it. Please note that for versions prior to 19, performing an upgrade will likely require a complete reconfiguration of your IoT devices. For the newest Odoo versions, you can simply restart the IoT. So this concludes the guide. You should now be equipped with the knowledge to successfully configure, manage, and troubleshoot your Odoo IoT system. Need more help? Then check the documentation or reach out to support. See you in the next one.